He said, thank you. It's very odd to have a criminal in chief right now running the country. Let's be clear who Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is a sexual predator. He's an abuser. He's a felon. He's a fraud. He's a bankrupter of businesses. He's a destroyer, not a builder. And he likes other criminals. It shouldn't shock you that the criminal's acting like a criminal. The abuser's acting like an abuser. There's a reason why people like Donald Trump and Enrique Tarrio belong in jail. And by the way, don't just take my word for it. Listen to what the Trump-appointed federal judge in Washington, D.C. said at Enrique Tarrio's sentencing. Quote, "It is kind of hard to put into words how important that peaceful transfer of power is. Our country was founded as an experiment in self-government by the people, but it cannot long endure if the way we elect our leaders is threatened with force and violence," Judge Kelly said Tuesday. "What happened that day didn't honor our founders. It was the kind of thing they wrote in the Constitution to prevent." But then again, Donald Trump's been saying that he doesn't believe the Constitution applies to him. And Donald Trump says that he doesn't think that immigrants should even get trials at all. He should just decree you are a gang member. You get sent to concentration camps. You get disappeared. You go to El Salvador, while Donald Trump is out there living the lavish life on the taxpayer dime. Yes, as Donald Trump cuts deals with Qatar to build Trump resorts there, as Donald Trump cuts deals with Saudi Arabia for Trump resorts in Oman, as Donald Trump cuts deals with Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund for them to use $2 billion worth of Trump crypto for their transactions, putting money directly in the pocket of Donald Trump. While Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., creates a club with David Sachs, the crypto czar called the Executive Branch, $500,000 to join. If you want that access to the Executive Branch, you join the Executive Branch. Oh, and by the way, Qatar gave Donald Trump their plane that Donald Trump can use as his plaything, as his new Air Force One, and the Rupert Murdoch-owned New York Post puts the following article out. See inside Donald Trump's lavish new Air Force One, complete with gold walls and opulent furnishings. Oh, so opulent. While we, the people, suffer, Donald Trump has gold-plated private jets given to him by Qatar. Great. No wonder federal spending is up right now. For everything that Doge did or didn't do, federal spending right now is higher than it was under former President Biden. So what Doge did was added billions to the deficit, hundreds of billions to the deficit. With the lack of tax revenue that's going to come in, I predict what Doge will end up doing is causing the taxpayers trillions and trillions, or the American people, it will add trillions of dollars rather to the deficit. And Donald Trump's just spending more on the stupidest crap imaginable for himself, to enrich his family. By the way, as Donald Trump appeared to be sundowning last night at one of the other ridiculous press conferences, or whatever the hell you want to even call these things, in the Oval Office that he was doing last night, here Donald Trump was bragging. I'm going to go to Saudi Arabia, blah, 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 UAE, blah, 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 Qatar, blah, 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 blah. Just watch this go down. Play this clip.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank you. So we're going to be having some conferences next week. I'll also be going to Saudi Arabia and other places, going to UAE and Qatar. And some of you will be going with us, so have an interesting time. But I think we're going to have another conference next week, which will be very important, having to do with the world of the medical. And I think it will be very productive. These are really very important that we signed today. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, aptly points out, which no media is pointing out that's actually in the Oval Office, the obsequious media, Filipkowski goes, look, okay, so Dubai partnered with Trump on business deals for Trump. Saudi Arabia is building a residential tower with him. Eric Trump's flying to the UAE. And by the way, while all of this is going on, you've got Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, plastered with all this makeup on. Dude wears so much makeup every day. No, I mean, you can wear makeup, but like, but Hegseth's whatever. Here's Hegseth right here saying yesterday they announced they're cutting 20% of 4-star generals. They're going to get rid of 20% of 4-star generals. And here's Pete Hegseth with all his cute makeup. Here he is right here. Let's play it.
With more DOD reforms, this one is General and Flag Officer Reductions. That's the official title. My title is Less Generals, More GIs.
Also, it should be noted that Pete Hegseth, we now learn, was using multiple signal chats for official Pentagon business. In at least one message, he asked aides to tell foreign countries about military operation. This being reported from the Wall Street Journal. Today, Donald Trump will be meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney, frankly. We'll see what happens. I'm not really sure why Mark Carney's coming. Now, I get that Prime Minister Carney's approaching Donald Trump from the perspective of sovereignty, power, and strength, but this is high risk for Prime Minister Carney. He ran and he won, and the Liberal Party surged based on him standing up to Donald Trump. And from all we've seen so far, over the past 48 hours, Donald Trump and the Trump regime have been mocking Canada. They've been talking about annexing Canada over and over again, and they've been saying really horrific and disparaging things about Canada relentlessly over and over again, and mocking Carney and mocking Canadians. It's horrible what this Trump regime is doing. So Prime Minister Carney's going to come here. You know Trump's going to get asked these questions in front of Prime Minister Carney. We will see what happens. But here's Howard Lutnick. Here's Howard Lutnick attacking Canada ahead of their meeting today. Play this clip.
So Mark Carney, whom I've met as central banker, are you optimistic? Can we make a deal with Canada?
I think it's really complex. I think this is really complex because they have been basically feeding off of us for decades upon decades upon decades, right? They have their socialist regime and it's basically feeding off of America. I mean, the president calls that out all the time. Why do we make cars in Canada? Why do we do our films in Canada? Come on. So I think the president's I think it's going to be a fascinating meeting. I'm glad I'm going to be there listening, but it's going to be a fascinating meeting tomorrow. I just don't see how it works out so perfectly.
But you're not going to bust up USMCA. That deadline is next year for the final review.
Correct. So next year is coming. So a lot of things are going to be put into that.
So if it's USMCA compliant, you're okay.
I think for now it's okay, but I think what you should expect to see is a real revisiting of USMCA in a year, because Donald Trump...
Just so you see, again, Donald Trump's behavior yesterday. I can show you so many of these clips, but I've gone through them so many times. But let me just show you this one right here, where Donald Trump was asked about the post on his account where he made an AI image of himself as the Pope. Donald Trump says he didn't do it. He doesn't know who did it. It could be AI, but it's not him. This was posted on the White House account, the official presidential account, and Donald Trump's official personal account. But who's keeping track? Play this clip.
Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?"
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of, no.
And of course, yesterday, throughout the day, Donald Trump was on his social media platform selling meme coins, and the people who collect the most meme coins get to go to a special Trump Gala dinner if you buy your way into the Trump Gala dinner. So while that's taking place, I want to give a hat tip to the 19 states and Washington, D.C., where Democratic attorney generals have filed a massive lawsuit against the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, for Trump and RFK Jr. systematically depriving HHS of resources necessary to do its job by firing 10,000 workers. The administration wreaked havoc across the entire health system through their reckless and illegal cuts. Among examples that are listed in the lawsuit of what's happened to HHS: 1,